Welcome to episode 382 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton, and as always, I'm joined by Dan Reamer.
Good morning. Producer Gerald behind the glass.
PG, making it happen.
Depressing me already this morning.
We've been chatting about Legos for about 30 minutes this morning.
Making me depressed. Oh, look at that. How's that for your depression?
Let me see.
First thing you had popped up was that Lego ship in a bottle.
Yeah, but it's out of stock.
Which means you can't get it.
Right, which is what we've been chatting about, things that we want we can't get right now. It's been a real depressing morning.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. You know, sometimes, pain like this, they say it helps you grow as a person.
Nah, shut up. I don't want to grow.
I mean, that's what people say.
I don't care what people say. You know what? I've grown. I've got enough character. I'm good.
I slept on getting this set. Now I'm going to have to buy it off of Wish, and it's going to be a totally different set made out of totally different things.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's where I'm at. That's where I've gone to.
Yeah, Wish is a funny website because it's about 30, 60 that you're getting what you order.
Yeah, Wish is like it's probably going to be sort of similar to what you thought you were going to get. Like, maybe.
But I do know people that have gotten exactly what they ordered.
It's if I had unlimited funds, I think I would buy a lot off of Wish because I like the gamble.
Yeah, because it's fun. Yeah, it's almost like a loot box.
Right. I like the gamble that I'll get what I was hoping for.
Right.
But because I don't have unlimited funds, I can't piss away money on Wish.
Right. Now the good thing is stuff's not real expensive on Wish. So
I think that's the idea. Yeah. So that set we're talking about is like shipping a bottle. I think it was like $80 or $80, $90, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
On Wish, it's like $23. There's no way that it's the right one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, but could I put it on a shelf?
Is that okay though? I mean,
8 to 10 feet away. It's not okay for me. No, I don't like fake Legos. Gerald has a fake set.
Oh, what set is that?
Oh, yeah. So he has a fake set to one that I have the real set to. So I would love to take those side by side
and compare them and see.
Yeah, because there is a part of me that's like, hey, if they're close,
why
maybe
not?
I don't hate them as much as I thought.
I mean, here's the thing: is the thing about the Legos is the fun is in putting them together and creating what it is you're trying to create, right? So does that brand name matter? I mean, it does get down to the quality of. Okay, well, yeah, this one looks like, the Lego one looks like a VW bus, and this one over here looks like a cardboard box with wheels. Yeah, that's a difference. But if there's not a lot of difference in them, does that essentially matter in your mind? Because in mine, it doesn't. Mine is putting that together and displaying what I made. It doesn't necessarily have to be Lego.
Have you ever felt a fake Lego set?
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me, the main problem is that feel. Like, Legos in my mind have a feel. Like, when I'm putting the set to the way they feel in my hands, the way they sound when I'm moving them around the table, that's part of the experience for me, and I think that's my problem with fake Legos. I know they're just plastic bricks, but there is a difference. Like, Lego has the weight, the sound, the feel.
And I did state that about the quality, but...
Yeah, so I think for me it matters because it takes away from... Like, Gerald's on Wish.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, see,
look at all these.
Like, what I enjoy putting together, creating what it is I wanted to create and displaying it. So I don't know that I would have as much problem with that as some.
Well, there you go. Scroll up. What was that helmet?
The helmet.
Was that some Star Wars action for you? Look right there.
Oh yeah, that's the Darth Ray.
So you get that, you put it together, and then you see if that's probably like $12, and you can see if you feel as good about it.
You're right.
Coming from Wish, you should have it in August.
Well, yeah.
If you order it right now, so you could recap us at the end of the year show.
I could recap it. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah. There's the bus. It would be interesting if. It would be interesting if they felt and looked. There's a light kit. He's got lights on that VW.
Oh, that's sweet.
It would be interesting to see if they look and felt the same, if it really did matter. But in my mind, they won't look and feel. Maybe it's a me thing. They won't look and feel the same. But it's interesting. I mean, we may get to that point because shipping the bottle's gone.
Yeah, I mean, my concern would be, like I said, cool, this looks like exactly what I wanted it to, and this looks like it spent 38 years in Chernobyl,
Right.
That's my concern is that. But I don't know. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. I'd try it. I mean, I would try it.
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to do some investigation.
Investigating, yeah.
The problem is, here's the real risk. Here's the real fear.
Uh-huh.
Is that you go on Wish and you drop the $20 for the $100 set and you get the actual set. Because then you'll be chasing that dragon forever.
Oh, yeah. No kidding.
You'd be like, well, that one time it was real, and you just keep buying shit.
Yep.
You just keep buying fake stuff from that point on.
Yeah, I could definitely see that being an issue that could occur with me.
Yeah. So I go to the Give Me a 5, as people know, and a lot of times they have fake sets at Give Me a 5. And they'll have also like bags of fake minifigs. It'll have like 40 minifigs in one bag.
Mm-hmm.
And there's such a weight discrepancy. Like the pieces just don't weigh enough. And it's noticeable I can hold a bag of 40 minifigures and just tell you it's wrong.
Right.
Like it's such a big difference.
Right.
So I don't know. And then you get into like, when you're talking like are custom pieces still just as cool? Like when someone actually screen prints a minifig to make it look however they want. Is that still Lego, even if they start with Lego stuff? I don't know. It gets fucking deep.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it's just like people create they take old action figures and create new action figures. Using clay and sculpting and all that. And
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's a cool art you have, but did you really create an action figure, or
I don't know.
Did you kind of paint over an action figure? I get what you're saying.
I don't know. I don't know where or if you should draw the line in the sand at all.
I don't know that you should. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you do. I don't know where you do. I don't know where you stop. And if you don't, then you should just be buying sets off Wish because they're way cheaper.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think that's up to each person.
I think I might have to dig into that and see. I'll do some investigating.
Set off a Wish.
I'll see what happens.
Did your fake buzz come from Wish, Gerald? Yeah, his fake buzz came from there. So we already have the tools.
What's the brand?
Do you feel like you've got any real sets from Wish? Okay. Is it clearly not real? Okay. He says clearly not
now,
real. Not in packaging.
Producer Gerald is, I know all the listeners can't hear, but Producer Gerald is letting us know that he does a bunch of purchasing on Wish. He's only bought one Lego set. It's very obvious that it is not real. But I know that you guys can't hear him, but I will relay his answer. Producer Gerald, what is your overall experience with Wish? Producer Gerald says he likes it. So you've been
positive.
It's been positive. It seems he has had good experiences with Wish. Okay, that's good to know. It sounds
I've never purchased anything off of Wish.
Me either, but I have looked and looked and looked, and I'm like, ooh.
I've never even been to Wish. What happens is I go to I'll search for a thing I want to buy, and it always fucking pops up in the results. It's like
Wish pops
$200, or you can get it from Wish for $12. I'm like, get out of here, Wish.
Right.
God,
$12 definitely the better deal.
Yeah, I can't stand them though because I'm like, you're playing with my reality. Because I know that you don't have the thing I want for $12, but you're pretending like you do, and it's pissing me off.
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do.
I don't know. And it is weird. Like on a shelf from 10 feet away, maybe no one can even tell the difference.
Right.
E-Crater.
What is ecrater.com?
Yeah. Shout out to that sketchy site Gerald's on.
Yeah.
Shout out to eCrater. Probably don't go there.
But they do take Visa, MasterCard, Discover, Amex, and PayPal. So
I bet they do. And your social.
Uh-huh.
Le Pen.
Oh, that's just French for Lego. It's fine.
Gerald bought the French set. He bought the PAL version. Yours has got the Peggy rating on it.
I might have to take a chance on that, just purely for investigative purposes.
I would love for all of you to keep buying fake Lego sets.
They're star winners.
Oh, dude, it's WNRS for Wars. The star is correct. The font is correct-ish. But Wars is a different word.
It's a different word. It is.
Look at that star plan.
Star plan. Star winners.
Yeah. Those are good. Those are fun fakes. Those I enjoy.
I feel like I'm all in.
Look at cities.
I feel like I'm in. I feel like I have to try this.
I feel like we hit real growth as people this morning. I'm not any closer to buying any set off of Wish, but yeah, I think for like everyday items, Wish is probably fine. Like if you want a cheese grater and it's 30 cents instead of $5, you probably get a fine cheese grater.
Yeah.
But when you're buying like a thing, like I'm not buying PS4 games off of Wish.
No.
I want a fucking compact disc.
Right.
With the logo on it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like builders instead of creator.
And it's spelled wrong.
Sort of builders, right?
It's billards.
Yeah, sort of builders. If you glance, it's halfway right, and still the wrong word. Look at that. Could work.
Actuals. This is LEPIN. I'm going to have to do some research on them and see.
I like anything that's like, hey, this isn't fake. Like you only would have to say that if you're definitely fake.
Right.
Like that set doesn't even look the same.
Pirates of the Gramarye.
Yeah, not to be confused with any Caribbean or Caribbean.
Right.
It's a totally different place. Totally different. All right, I think we've spent enough time on the fake Legos.
On fake Legos, probably, yeah.
Faux Legos.
I'm sure it was scintillating to listen to.
Yeah. Probably a lot of...
but that's what we do. It's all good.
Probably a lot of excited listeners, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They're probably all on Wish.
Probably. They're like, what shit can I buy from Wish? I see YouTubers do a lot of, I spent $200 on Wish and here's what I got. I see a lot of those videos.
Well, I have to watch some of those.
Mm-hmm. I specifically haven't seen Lego. That's the one I keep saying I want to put together, the VW Bug there.
Is it blue?
Mm-hmm. That's it.
No, well, it's not.
I mean, that's it adjacent. That's the fake version. That's sort of it. That's that leaping again. Yeah. Leaping. Leaping.
Leaping.
Those.
Huh.
Yeah. Huh.
Did you do a lot of playing this week?
This episode's brought to you by Wish. No, I didn't play much.
Really. You didn't?
No.
Would you get
with open
PS4
arms welcome? Yeah, would you with open arms welcome Wish as a sponsor?
Oh yeah. Producer Gerald vouches for him. I'm good.
Maybe this show should be on Wish. Maybe it's good, maybe it's not.
Right.
It's cheaper than the rest though, so let's just roll the dice.
Yeah. The official Gamestitch Podcast brought to you by Wish.
Powered by Wish. Because you wish that shit wasn't fake. Yeah, I played a little bit. I played Wreckfest.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I played any Rocket League this week. I played a little Farm Together. They have an event going, but I don't know if I'm going to mess with this event. It's really long. I'm cooling down on Farm Together. Like the loading it up to just do a thing is beginning to be annoying because I'm loading Animal Crossing up to do a thing also.
Right.
And I don't have the power that Gerald has to grind out 25 things at once.
I hear ya.
So I'm thinking I may take a back seat on Farm Together because, as you know, Farming Simulator was one of the free games for May.
Mm-hmm.
So I plan to jump into that. I still want to get back to 2 Point Hospital. I'm still playing Wreckfest, and I got to get rolling back on Rocket League. I just don't have enough time because through all that, I'll still be playing Animal Crossing. So I just don't have the time. A bulk of my week was spent with Animal Crossing. I've cooled a little bit on the amount of time I'm playing, but not my feelings for that game. I still love it. Mm-hmm. But I am playing, I would say, somewhere around an hour to an hour and a half a day versus what I was playing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, no PS4 for me this week. I don't think I even turned it on. to be honest with you.
I didn't see you on.
It's been a little bit of a busier week this week. I've been trying to get a lot of stuff done around the house at night, so I've been going to bed early. I've been tired, so I've been going to bed a little earlier. And I did some TV watching this week. And I did game, however, because I'm still all in on Animal Crossing 2 weeks later. I have now played it probably right about 30 hours. I am constantly opening up new stuff, and when I don't open up new stuff, I am grabbing stuff to make money. Fishing or, pulling flowers, or I do go around digging up trees. Started to create some of the things I want. I'm still obviously not far enough in to create all the things I want to create on my island. But, baby steps, I'm getting there. I still really, really like that game. I'm still into that game.
I was going to say, are your thoughts pretty much where they were?
Yeah.
Still enjoying yourself. Now, just to update everybody, producer Gerald did pick up Animal Crossing after
he did
the show last week. Now, because you can't hear him, I'm going to put words in his mouth based off of the conversation we had before the show. I think he's okay with it.
I think he's okay with it. We discussed.
He didn't love it based off his tone.
He didn't love it, and considering that he is a person who generally does grind out games, like as a rule, for whatever reason, I can
as a goal.
I can see how he can not quite be quite as hot on this game because it's a little bit of a slower grind at the beginning.
Yeah.
I think the Iron Nugs, man, once he gets past the Iron Nugs, it kind of just opens up and moves a little faster. There's more you can do. And once he gets into some of that, I think he's going to enjoy it a lot more.
So that's what we were talking about, is maybe more than most, Animal Crossing time gates your grind. You could play for 24 hours and not progress. Like, it still takes time.
Right.
And so that is a little different, but I thought he would be in love with it by now.
I don't think he's far enough in. I think that it does. Probably the first 10 to 12 hours determines if you're going to stick with it, and you're still kind of. I could be hot. I could be cold. I don't really know, but I think once you get past that point and once you get over that divide, I think at that point, another 4 or 5 hours in, you've made up your mind. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm never playing this again. I don't think there's a middle ground.
And we're going to talk much more about Animal Crossing later in the show, but just want to update everybody on producer Gerald, where he's at, where he stands. Based off the story we have later, if he doesn't like it, he would be incorrect. Everybody loves it. So
I did get to talk to a friend of the show, Matt, this week. We talked a little bit about Animal Crossing.
Did you exchange friend? Like, did you go to each other's islands?
We haven't been to each other's islands yet, but I did finally pick up his friend code.
Okay, so it's in the works.
So it's something that we can have happen. I'm pretty excited to see his island. I know he's played quite a bit, and
he's played a lot.
Knowing him the way I do, I'm sure he's got some shit going on his island.
Yeah, I think that part's really neat, because you'll see someone else who's played a lot of time with a totally different vibe than what I have going.
Right. So I'm excited for that. But so yeah, he threw out the congrats, and we did chat a little bit about it. How it's not my type of game at all, and I fucking love it. So good times.
The water cooler talk for Animal Crossing is strong.
Yeah, it is.
And I like that. I mean, even when we're playing, we jump on PS4 and we play Wreckfest, a lot of times most of the conversation is dominated with Animal Crossing talk.
Yeah.
Even though we're not playing it.
That's you and Marshall 205, friend of the show?
Mm-hmm, friend of the show, yeah. I visited his island this week. He had a meteor shower, I think last Sunday, actually.
Oh.
So I visited, made a bunch of wishes on a bunch of stars, which is the thing you can do. It's how you get star fragments.
Yep.
And I was able to scoop up like 15 or 20 that night.
I have not seen a meteor shower yet.
Yeah, I've not had one, but he had one, and so I visited. He fell asleep while I was wishing on stars, I think. So, just in typical friend of the show,
in typical Marshall 205 fashion, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a thing
He went ahead
does.
and went to sleep while I was playing, yeah.
Nappy nap.
So, yeah, but the game is excellent. If you don't like it, you're wrong.
Producer Gerald.
Incorrect.
I think that was for you, Producer Gerald.
Shouldn't have bought it. Shouldn't have bought it from Wish. They're playing
Yep.
Mammal Crossing.
He's playing Mammal Crosswalk.
Yeah, Mammal Crossing. It's different, but not. Wink, wink. If you want to support the show, head over to patreon.com/Gamestitch and do so. If you can't afford to or don't want to, tell your friends, family, and local mammals about us. You know, anything with teats. Let them know.
Sure.
That covers humans and a lot of other.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It definitely covers some shit. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of stuff with teats walking around out there. So,
and mammals.
Anything you want to add? Anything you want to add about mammals before we move on?
No,
Okay.
I think you covered it.
What's your favorite mammal?
My favorite mammal?
Oh
shit,
you have one?
I don't know. I like them all.
I didn't know if you had one you just keep in your pocket. Like, hey, this has always been my favorite mammal. In case anyone asks.
No, no, it's not something I ever considered.
You
I guess it depends. I guess it would probably depend on what I was trying to accomplish at the time.
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. Your mood, what you're right. Your life goals,
right. I mean,
and then I would need to see
trying
a comprehensive list of mammals too.
Like, am I under attack? Well, then I'm looking for a wolf or a bear. Am I just trying to chill? A cat or a dog is great. Am I looking for them for protection, to protect me from something? So yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. And I think it would depend on the situation and my mood at the time.
Yeah. Yeah, I need a comprehensive list. Because there might be one I forgot about.
Right, and there's a whole checklist that I would have to go through
Yeah,
in order to narrow it down.
Can I ride it? It's probably real high on the list.
Can you ride it?
Can I saddle it and ride it? Yeah.
I don't feel like that would matter much to you because you don't seem to be a saddle and ride type of person. So,
if I was to the point where I had to choose a mammal for a task, I want to be able to ride it.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to be able to saddle it.
So you're thinking it's some kind of apocalyptic thing? I think Gerald's favorite is pandas. Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Now, pandas, I think, are a little lethargic for me.
Yeah.
I think they just sit around, be cute, and eat.
Mm-hmm. Wolverines are cool.
Maybe like a grizzly.
Yeah.
Something with a little power that you could still saddle up that, you can be friends with a bear. I've seen it. You can also get murdered by a bear. I've seen it.
Right. I mean, that can go both ways, and there's no give or take there. It's just,
Look at those. Look at that.
Well, yeah. I mean, pandas are cute. Yeah, but
pandas are real like Humpty Dumpty. They're real like roly poly. They're like super goofy. Look at them. Yeah. They're just like rolling around, grabbing his feet. That one might be eating a foot. I don't know.
Yeah. But apparently, that's producer Gerald's favorite mammal is the panda.
Do pandas kill people?
I'm sure they do.
Everything kills people, I guess.
Yeah.
I
mean, everything is probably capable of killing a person in some way or shape or form.
Would you have the panda on a leash, Gerald?
That's an excellent question. No, just free roam.
Yep.
There's laws against that, I think.
Yeah, you can't let your panda go commando for sure. You've got to put it on a leash. There's no way you can just have a panda. Now, I went to a store the other day and save all your coronavirus shit. Tennessee's open. It is what it is. Not to downplay it. I'm just saying we can go out. I went to a store and there's just a giant dog laying in the middle of the store. Not a store that has pets.
Okay, it wasn't like a PetSmart or something?
Nope, not a store that has pets. Not accompanied by a human, the best I could tell. And then when I went to check out, the guy who was checking out in front of me called the dog's name, and the dog got up and walked out with him. And I'm like, how long has that dog been here? With that gentleman? Because that dog wasn't around anybody. And I'm like, some people have a real fear of dogs.
Right.
That dog not being with a human and no collar, no nothing, no leash, that would be alarming if you just walked in. Because you're like, it was a big dog, probably 100+ pounds.
That's a big dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, this guy's getting attacked by a panda? Is that what you've pulled up?
I think that's what producer Gerald pulled up.
Oh, yeah. It says he tried to touch the panda without permission, which, hey, this show, big advocate, don't touch things without permission.
Yeah. And don't touch things when they're sleeping either. Leave them alone, man.
We've always stressed to get permission first. Oh, that bear is legit attacking him.
Yeah, it is.
There is something about, because it's a panda, though, it's cuter.
It looks, it's like wrestling.
It kind of looks like, it looks like they're playing a little bit, but I think that guy's legs broke.
Right.
But it looks like they're playing. Shout out to giant pandas. For being adorable, but also still being a fucking bear.
Yeah.
What about a koala? Because that's disarming.
Oh, yeah, he did something, because it looks like that bear had blood all over it. This guy's running out. It looked like it had blood on it.
He walked over like a real man to poke that bear, but he ran out like a little bitch.
Yeah. Tough guy.
Stay and fight the panda if you want to go.
Interesting stuff. I like it.
That's a lose-lose, right? Either you get attacked by a panda or you fight a panda and you're the world's biggest asshole for fighting a panda.
Well, to me, again, it's probably circumstances.
It's not like kangaroo, right? People know that kangaroos will square up, right? If you get in a fight with a kangaroo, nobody's like, oh, really? Because that shit happens. But if you were like, hey, I beat the shit out of a panda today at the zoo, everybody'd be like, hey, dude, that's not cool.
This guy's getting pulled through the bars. Look at that.
Well, yeah, that panda just wanted a denim jacket. Anyone who's rocked a denim jacket understands that. The panda just wanted to change his look up.
Wanted to customize his character.
Yeah, I wanted to bedazzle that thing and look a little better. Do people still bedazzle?
I'm sure.
I hope.
Sure.
Let's jump into the news. There's not too much, but there's a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Starting with the Xbox 2020 games event. Now, I'll just want to say off the top, a lot of people upset about the way this went down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We'll get into it, but
a lot of people upset how it went down.
I think there were some miscommunications on Xbox's part, Microsoft's part, and maybe some expectations were raised a little high, I think.
We've all been there where maybe our messaging wasn't what you wanted it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that happens.
But people are starved right now for any kind of entertainment, so I think you tread lightly right now when it comes to setting expectations for people.
The promises you make have to be tempered.
So I will just tell you, going in, the problem was Xbox and Ubisoft alluded to the fact that there would be gameplay shown for games.
Mm-hmm. And it was incredibly minimal.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of things that say like gameplay question mark, because I think that's where there's some things that could have might have been gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
But most, I think, at most, I think you would stretch it out to it might have been in-game engine.
Right.
A lot of this is what we think this might look like, I think, is what was happening.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So all that stuff is what it is. You can read a million stories about how that didn't fit into people's expectations. I just want to talk about some of the shit that was there.
Sounds good to me, man.
Yeah, we've tried hard not to be too negative about shit right now because it's a weird time. So Bright Memory Infinite was shown off. Frenetic first-person shooter set in a futuristic world that also contains a powerful Spartan warriors. I thought this looked fine.
Yeah.
Didn't blow my nuts off.
Me either. I guess the concept is kind of interesting. But yeah, my face wasn't blown off by this.
No, I think for me the coolest part is it's being developed by one person in China. As you know, a lot of China studios just now Chinese studios kind of just now starting to pump out games for the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's cool. But a lot of people are pretty high on it. Dirt 5 was shown off. No surprise here that another Dirt game would come out. I also think it looks great. It was also announced as part of the Smart Delivery, which for those know, it's cross-platform buy, I guess if you want to call it that. It just means that you'll be able to get it on Xbox One X and then also have it for the Series X when it comes out.
Yep. If you buy it for one, you'll have it for the... If you buy it for the previous generation, you'll own it for the new generation, I believe is how it works.
Yeah, anytime you hear us mention Smart Delivery, that's all it means.
But that's not vice versa, right?
Yeah, I think it's all... If you buy
it's all the way
because
of backwards compatibility. Yeah.
So interesting note here, Dirt 5 will have both Troy Baker and Nolan North as lead voices for this game. And if you do some digging on the internet, those two guys are have a little beef going right now. So maybe one of the last times that you see those two guys.
Maybe, yeah.
That close.
Which is I don't really know. Do you know what happened there?
Yeah, so Troy quit the show that they do together.
Okay, I was going to say, I've always seen the show they do together, and all of a sudden it wasn't on anymore.
They do Retro Rewind?
Yeah, something like that.
They have a show where they play old games and they shit on each other.
Mm-hmm.
And they just talk on a couch in a basement. So Troy apparently did not like... Now, this is all hearsay because I don't know either one of those guys.
Right.
From what I read, Troy had a disagreement about the direction of the show, which apparently could not be resolved.
Okay.
And so he left and started his own channel.
Yes, he has.
I guess they had worked out a plan to make all the announcements. You know, they were trying to split amicably.
Amicably?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to
Is that what you're going for?
Amicably. And then, what's it called? Retro what? Scroll up a little bit. Yeah, it is Retro Replay. So then I guess Retro Replay released a statement or a video announcing it before the agreed upon time, which has now created even more beef because Troy wasn't then ready to do his thing yet.
Yeah.
So it's business, right? And as a few dudes doing a show, we know how messy it can get sometimes, and we don't even make any money.
It never gets messy. What are you talking about?
Not in a long time, but it's been messy.
It's been messy. It hasn't been a long time. Yeah,
we have been messy before, and creative differences, because we've tried a lot of different projects, is a real fucking thing.
No doubt.
I mean, you guys are my best friends that I talk to more than anybody, and sometimes I just don't like your vision, and you don't like mine.
Yep.
It's not personal, but it makes it real fucking hard to do something with you, you know?
It makes it hard to not be personal.
Yeah, so...
It feels like a personal attack sometimes, even though it's not.
Mm-hmm. I get it, and I know Troy was asked a question on his stream that he did about how him and Nolan were okay, and his comment was, no, but we will be. And so I hope that's true.
Yeah.
I think that's the right... That tells me that at least one side is willing to try to figure it out.
Right.
And I hope that it does work out because, friends are never a bad thing if you truly like that person. So hopefully they'll work it out.
That's what I hear.
Yeah. I try to limit the amount of people around me, but everybody's different. Scorn is a terrifying horror experience reminiscent of Ridley Scott's Prometheus. It's told in a nonlinear structure, and you must explore an unfamiliar world of scary discoveries. This looks like a game I absolutely will not play.
Yeah, it does look very scary.
Yeah, thank you.
But I don't know. It almost looks like more of the same as far as horror goes. I'm a little horrored out.
He just means until the next Man of Medan, the next. What are those called? The anthology.
Yeah.
What was that called?
Yeah, no, man. Yeah, it's Man of Medan.
But what's the?
Oh, the Hope. It's something about hope, isn't it?
Little Hope. Yeah, the next one. You just burn out till that comes out.
Well, those are
amazing.
Yeah, but I don't.
So I think the next one is much more like horror than the last.
Yeah, but I don't think they're a different style of horror. They're not Resident Evil first person. You know, they're different. They're more of a cinematic experience, which I enjoy more so than video game horror.
The Dark Pictures Anthology. That's what I was trying to think of.
Uh-huh.
I saw a friend of the show, Thomas, was playing Man of Medan last night.
He was, yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, that's it. I had to get his thoughts on it.
And it looked like he was playing with somebody.
He was, because I think it said like sharing story or something like that.
Yep.
Which brings us to the next game, Chorus. A world premiere for the space combat game Chorus was shown during the presentation. Clips of gameplay were brief, but protagonist appears to have a unique connection with her vehicle, and we see a planet disintegrating. Again, it's probably fine. There's not enough here to interest me.
Yeah, and I'm not really a space combat guy, so this doesn't do much for me. Neither does Madden 21, which was announced.
Yeah, we could probably just go
right
by that.
We have to. They showed it. We have to talk about it. Yeah. But I think everybody probably knows where we're at on sports games, particularly the iterations year after year after year. So you've got that coming. This one I am excited about. Vampire: The Masquerade, Bloodlines 2. Paradox Interactive, Hardsuit Labs, and World of Darkness. They showed a new trailer for it. And it showed off the world of combat and some of the freedoms you'll have in shaping, setting everything to how you want it. This one I'm a little excited about.
That's a game I figured you'd be a little excited about.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed the vampire games. I've never been able to play them because they've always been on PC. And we all know I don't game on PC. So I'm excited for this one. I hope it comes to PS5 too, because that's probably the system I'm going to end up getting. But it's kind of where we're at with that. But yeah, this one I thought I'm excited about, and I like. So there we are on that. That's where I feel about that. Call of the Sea is a bright and colorful yet mysterious adventure game. Sees a woman searching for Harry. We don't know who Harry is. Takes place in the 30s in the South Pacific, and it is filled with plenty of secrets and discoveries.
See, I thought this one looked cool.
I think this one looks cool, too.
This was probably my favorite of the show.
Oh, mine was Vampire.
Yeah, this just looks... I guess maybe eerie is the word.
Mm-hmm.
Not scary, but to me, it's doing the thing that...
It's trying to make you uncomfortable.
It's doing the thing that Firewatch did, where Firewatch is not a scary game, but there's something like uncomfortable about being alone and confused.
Yep.
It is first person, but it looks super beautiful. It looks super eerie, and I'm interested in this one a lot.
Yeah, this one, I definitely could see the Firewatch feel on this one that you're talking about. They also showed off The Ascent, which is a cyberpunk game with mechs, slaves, and workers in a rundown city. It's an isometric shooter with sci-fi abilities, and it pretty much looks like Diablo or Alien Nation, any of those. It looks okay. It doesn't really blow my face off or anything. I like some of the isometric stuff, but I don't get too into them really. So that's where we're at with that. Scarlet Nexus. Oh no, I missed the Medium. The Medium began with a woman getting an ultrasound on her unborn child before shifting to her praying inside an empty church.
This game looks freaky.
It looks really weird. She appears to be hallucinating as it briefly turns demonic and ventures out into the cold. The game will be all we know is it's available this holiday. Odd one here.
It's by somebody who has got a lineage in horror games. I forget who it is and what they worked on. But this game looked disturbing in a way that I'm not ever going to play it.
It really, really freaked you out, huh? Just too.
I don't like scary games, and I don't like to be uncomfortable. Those that have listened for a long time know that I've owned the Resident Evil so I could play it in VR for years now and still not played it.
And still haven't played it, yeah.
I just don't like to be uncomfortable in that way, but this game looked freaky. It looks like there's a story that'll be hard to follow, and it also looks frightening, so hard pass for me on this one. It looks good though.
I want to find out more about it. It is to me the concept's kind of interesting. So we'll see if it's. I don't mind creepy. I don't mind being uncomfortable. I'm not usually one for being straight up. I'm not one for jump scares.
Yeah,
those aren't fun for me. But it'll be interesting to see more about this as it comes out, and it's something I don't know. I may end up considering. A trailer for Scarlet Nexus from Bandai Namco featured enemies called the Others, who cannot be hurt with traditional means. Trees are sprouted from their heads, and only with special psionic powers can the OSF organization save the world. I have no idea what's going on in this game.
Yeah, it looks fun. The problem with this entire show is I thought everything looked fine.
Right, and everything looked fine, but I wasn't expecting some major. I've talked about it before. I wasn't expecting just a massive technological, graphical breakthrough. I think we're to the point now where we're going to start seeing those things in increments. They're incremental, but the concepts of most of these games weren't exciting to me either. Is the problem I had. Is the concepts, the ideas behind them. This is all stuff we've seen before. It's not really bringing anything new to the table as far as ideas, story, gameplay, any of it. So I really need to see some of those changes in that stuff in order for me to.
It's a weird time. It's a weird time for Xbox right now. I mean, they didn't show. I think everyone expected to see Halo in some shape, form, or fashion right off the top. They let everybody know that shit ain't happening.
Yep.
And I think them making the announcement that they are 2 years away from any Xbox Series X exclusive first party games.
Right.
Like, I think people are just like, well, then you need to wow me some other way, and that's not up to them at that point, right? That's up to the third party developers and
right.
Their relationships with those studios or second party, if they're throwing money at somebody. So I just think they're in a weird spot. And I sort of thought Sony was messing up by not talking. But maybe will say, if Sony is going to give me a show like this, full of games that look like PS4 games that are probably okay,
they might as well keep it to themselves, right?
Just stay quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
This show has not been well received. And I actually thought Microsoft was doing a pretty swell job up until this point.
Well, the thing is considering this is the first major, I guess, show of the Xbox, something, you needed to bring something. You needed to show it. And there was just nothing, I don't think, for anybody, really. I think it was very middle of the road. I think all these games are very middle of the road. Yeah, they look great, but I think it's about all that they bring. Is some stuff for some of the hardcore fans. You've got your Assassin's Creed, which I still agree looks great. I'm excited for the vampire game. There's some fans of one we'll talk about in a little bit, fans of a series, but they just didn't. There was no wow factor. It was all very meh.
Yeah. It is worth noting they plan to do these every month for the rest of the year, focusing on things like Xbox Game Studios, the Series X, Game Pass, and so on. So, it's like you said, though, for the first one. And, hey, we said the same thing about PlayStation on the State of Play. I thought their first one was eh.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo's been doing this for a long time, but they seem to know how to get a pop out of them.
Right.
In a way that I think that this was a little bit of a miss. And I think a lot of that were expectations because of, again, the messaging up front. Microsoft has owned up to that messaging, so I think you just move on now.
Right.
They said that they think expectations were incorrect based off the messaging that they put out. So it's done.
Yeah, so they took the blame for that. It's done.
Yeah, it's done. So that is what it is now.
Yeah. Next up was Second Extinction, an FPS from Avalanche Studios. Earth has fallen and dinosaur creatures roam free. With a squad of players, you can take back the planet and slaughter the invaders.
Probably not.
Again, very run of the mill. I mean, it's got dinosaurs, cool.
Probably not going to do that.
But it was pretty plain as far as what it is. Yakuza Like a Dragon is coming to the Xbox with all of its drama and eccentricities intact. The game ditches real-time combat for a new turn-based system that is just goofy enough to work in Sega's long-running franchise. Well, this is the one I was talking about. There are fans of Yakuza out there that will get this game. But
it's smart being a Series X launch game, too. I think that's smart.
Right. I think it's very smart.
I think this game will do like the franchise always does, and it'll be good. The fans will love it, and it'll probably... Those games sell well. Yeah,
they do. They sell very consistently. They're consistent.
Yeah.
Which I think is important. And the last thing they showed off was Assassin's Creed Valhalla's gameplay debut. This included footage of a battering ram hitting a gate, archery, and some brutal melee combat. But it was incredibly short, and within that, it really showed very limited gameplay.
I would put air quotes around gameplay.
I would too.
Yeah, I think even this write-up is a little generous on what was shown.
It was. I think there are probably some of these are small elements of gameplay, but I think it's hard.
I'm sure this happens in game, but I'm not sure that this is gameplay.
That it's you playing the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's a few moments that looks like it might be, but you got to really look for them.
The game looks incredible. Everything we said about it last week holds true for me. Mm-hmm. I think it'll be incredible. It looks incredible. I'm not sure how stealth fits into this. I don't even care. But yeah, that might be gameplay. That camera doesn't look like a camera you would use during real gameplay. It's like over to the side where you couldn't really see when he shoots the arrow. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know either. But
looks great.
It does look phenomenal.
Yep. So that was the Xbox 2020.
Yeah, we pretty much gave our overall impressions, I think. So
I hope that they pick up steam as they keep doing this and they get better at it, because I do think it's hard to do, because I also think Nintendo's or Sony's State of Play have not been excellent. So
right.
Nintendo Direct is something that they have figured out how to cut the fluff out of, but also make it worth something when they do one.
They've been doing it a lot longer, too.
They also don't force themselves to put one out if they don't have anything.
Right.
I think that's important, too. You just randomly will get, hey, next week we're doing a Direct, and you're like, what the hell? But that means they have something to show off. Or they really, I like how sometimes they just focus on one game. It'll just be all about X, Y, or Z, you know.
Right.
I like that, too. So I think that Xbox and Sony will figure it out, because I do think that these Direct-style video presentations are the future.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. They get to take the reins.
Yep.
And deliver their own message. They don't have to spend anybody else.
Yeah, the time, money, or energy getting ready for these big cons and you know, expos.
Yeah, I agree.
On to the next story. Animal Crossing is already one of the Switch's best-selling games. Nintendo shared financial earnings report for the end of its fiscal year 2020, and they also updated the top 10 best-selling Switch games, revealing that the latest sales from the system's biggest first-party titles. The only new addition was Animal Crossing New Horizons, so it only had launched 9 days prior to the end of the fiscal year. But at that point, it was at 11 million copies sold, and now has risen to 13.41 million copies sold. Mm-hmm. Which would, at the time, it would have put it in 7th place. At the time now, it will be solely in 6th place. And also, I see a slight issue with the way that the chart is done, because Pokemon Sword and Shield contain one spot of the list when I think, they're 2 games.
They're 2 games.
So I sort of have a problem with that. But I think this speaks to how well Animal Crossing is done, and we've talked about it before, but the timing for Animal Crossing's release, while people were starved for entertainment, was very crucial to this level of success it's seen.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Because if everything was normal and we could go out like normal and everybody was still cranking out games like normal, I don't know if either one of you would even be playing Animal Crossing, because I don't know that it would have been such a media, like, overwhelming media response.
Yeah, and I think there's probably some truth to that. Yeah, I really do.
So real quickly going through the list, Mario Kart 8 remains number 1 at $24.7 million, followed by Super Smash Bros. At $18.84 million, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild at $17.4 million, Super Mario Odyssey at $17.4 million. It's basically tied with Breath of the Wild. Pokemon Sword Shield together at $17.37. Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu Eevee at $11.97 million. At the time the list was presented, Animal Crossing was at number 7 with $11.77. Like I said, it's $13.41 now. Splatoon 2 at $10.13 million, Super Mario Party at $10.10 million, and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe at $6.6 million. For some context, it outsold the previous best-selling Animal Crossing, which is New Leaf, in just 6 weeks.
Yep.
So,
I do think, and you already stated it, but I do think that the timing and everything that happened, the circumstances, really, really helped Animal Crossing.
It helped Animal Crossing, and it helped Trolls.
Yes, yeah, it did help Trolls. Trolls 2.
Trolls has disrupted, and I never thought I would say this, but Trolls 2 has disrupted the fucking movie scene right now.
Oh, yeah.
And I never thought that I would ever, in a million years...
I never thought that was a sentence coming out of your mouth.
I never thought that there would be a spat between theaters and
studios?
And studios over Trolls. So... Yeah. And for what it's worth, I think AMC is wrong right now.
I do too.
But they're like, hey, fuck that. We'll just never put anything Universal in our theaters again. Also, we're filing bankruptcy probably.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a weird thing to say all in one breath pretty much. Maybe not how I would announce it. I didn't realize until this week that Trolls was expensive when it came out. So it made like $100 million or something. On releases. For those that don't know the backstory, instead of going to theaters, they released it digitally because people were locked at home. Mm-hmm. It was $20 to buy it when it came out.
Yes.
But if you think about the average movie price to take you and your kids to the theater, that's still cheaper.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Not to mention you can't do that right now. So I was actually shocked to hear that it was that expensive, and it actually makes more sense to me how they were able to make so much money. Same thing for the Sonic movie. I didn't realize that it was more expensive to get digitally than normally.
Yeah. So because they had to be purchased, they couldn't be rented.
Yeah, so very interesting. Trolls was $20 when it came out. So.
I mean, there was a bunch of movies that were like that. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey was like that. Bloodshot was like that.
Did you pay that for any of those?
I paid $20 for both of them.
Yeah, that's interesting because you're a guy who would normally go to the theater.
Yes.
So you're comfortable to get it at home, too. You just want to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to. Yeah, I'd already seen Harley Quinn.
AMC may ban you if you keep talking like that.
Well, and Bloodshot was a movie I wanted to see, and I didn't want to wait, and it was available. So that was like an impulse purchase.
Now, as somebody who loves theaters, I assume you would still rather see it in a theater.
Oh, yeah. I'd still rather go to the movies in a theater.
But if you could, this works, too.
But the thing is, there's a lot of movies. Like, I'd already seen Harley Quinn and Birds of Prey in the theater.
Right.
And I knew I wanted to own it.
It's a different situation, whereas, like, with Trolls, you couldn't see it in the theater.
Right. It is different.
Yeah, so it's a different situation. But either way, the way that we get movies may change.
But if movie theaters want to start being assholes...
Yeah.
There's other movie theaters.
Yeah, I'll tell you what the problem is. AMC's riding high off of murdering Movie Pass.
Right.
And creating their own thing, and they got fucking cocky here. About the Trolls situation.
If Universal, if this follows through and AMC says, well, then we're just not going to release Universal movies, and Universal goes, well, okay.
Okay. Be fine.
AMC's fucked.
Right. So that's another weird thing. Weird person to pick a fight with. Like, we're not talking about a place that cranks out one movie a year.
No, like we're not going to show your Fast and Furious movies. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like the biggest movie of every year, we're going to skip out on that.
Yeah. Okay.
Out of pride.
Okay.
Fine,
AMC's done for. This is a stupid hill to die on, because that's literally what's going to happen. I can tell you, you are going to die. There's no reason to even fight the battle. You're going to die. It won't be a battle.
Right. So Sony, Universal, I'm tired of your shit. We're not going to play your movies anymore. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. All they have to do, if they just say, okay, AMC's done.
They should have replied back with a picture of a troll flexing its muscles. Because not only would the internet have loved that response, but AMC, there's no way to respond to it.
Yeah, AMC's way out of line here. And the thing is they're even they're trying to be big swinging dicks, because all Universal said is this is a model we might look at in the future.
Yeah, it worked
for some of our titles.
Yeah,
because, and let's face it, studios have been making movies that have gone straight to video for 40 years that never showed in theaters.
And
Universal's basically just saying we might do it with some movies every now and then that we would release in theaters that don't necessarily do great.
And I hate to spoil it for everybody,
movie,
but these companies all exist to make money.
Right.
All of them. So if Universal sees a business model where sometimes they can make more money than other times,
that's what they're going to utilize.
And then if you're on AMC's side, you're taking away their money. But you got to remember, AMC just murdered MoviePass and felt good about it.
Right.
By taking away their business, by saying we won't take them anymore. I mean, they did the same thing, basically.
Yeah. Exactly.
It just doesn't feel so good when it's you.
Right.
So, shout out to Trolls. Movie's probably fine.
Yeah. And down with AMC.
Yeah. What's it? World Tour? What's it? Trolls World Tour?
Yeah. Trolls 2 World Tour or something.
Yeah. I want to see the Disney one. Upward, I think it's called. It released the same.
Onward.
It released the same way. It came out digitally.
Yeah.
So they didn't wait for the theater.
I almost think it's available on Disney Plus now, but I can't remember.
Is it? It looks good to me. Moving on, we're going to stay with Animal Crossing because I thought this was bizarre and also cool. So we're going to talk. We're going to talk about the NFL, but in case you were like, yeah, I get it that people like Animal Crossing, people that play games, but no, it's bigger than this because this has an NFL tie-in with the Detroit Lions, who for some reason decided to announce their NFL 2020 schedule using Animal Crossing. Just let that soak in for a second.
That's a true story.
They took to Twitter to announce their video. There's a bunch of villagers wearing Detroit Lions gear, and you're like, oh, that's cute. And then if you look underneath the post on Twitter, they actually put the codes to download the Detroit Lions gear, which I thought was super cool. But yeah, this was a bizarre way to announce it. It's funny to me. It's silly. And I thought it was just a neat, silly way to do this. Clearly they had been working on it for a while. And clearly they put some time and energy into this. But I just thought it was super funny and it was super bizarre. But I love that you can get... I love that they put their uniforms up, even if you're not a Detroit Lions fan. I love that they put those up. I love that somebody took the time to do that. So, really odd story. Dan hated this story so much he left. Oh yeah, Gerald's watching the video right now and he's learning stuff about Animal Crossing he maybe didn't know. Yeah. They made for those that haven't seen it, they actually made a little clip for each team that kind of show you to show you kind of who they're playing for each week. It was a fun little video. It's silly. But my thing was, you could tell someone who's really played Animal Crossing made this. There's like a lot of time and energy in this. But they put up the jerseys, they put up the hats. For those that don't know, you can download custom designs, and they put up that stuff. So you can head over to the Detroit Lions Twitter if you want to download some of those designs.
I don't want them.
It's just it's fun and it's cute and bizarre.
It's just too out there. It's too weird for me.
I just wonder about all the people who don't know what Animal Crossings are and going, what the fuck is this?
What about the people that don't know anything about football and are playing it,
Yeah, well, I think you can, if you play games but don't play football, I think you can see what they did here. If you watch football and don't know what Animal Crossing is, I don't think you can understand what the fuck is happening right now.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Why are there animals talking to me? Why did they just bury a teddy bear? There's a lot of questions.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's neat.
A lot of time and energy went into it, clearly.
Yeah.
The video is lengthy, so I don't know. Bizarre. I thought it felt like I had to talk about it.
Huh. Yeah.
The next one is a story you sent me.
I did. I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about.
It's not really a story. It's more of an opinion. I think we're just going to kind of talk about where we land on it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about.
So this is coming from Reddit, Am I the Asshole subreddit.
For those of you that don't know what Am I the Asshole is on Reddit is basically someone tells a story of something they did and asks that they felt was right, and they ask, so am I the asshole? Mm-hmm. And then Reddit lets them know.
Reddit decides
whether they think they are or not.
Yeah.
So this is the story. I'll go ahead and I'll read this story. This is what the Redditor posted. I have 2 children, a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old daughter. My son had a Minecraft world where he built quite an impressive castle on an island, which he was very proud to show me. Since school has been canceled, he has had issues with waking up on time. He is supposed to wake up at 7 each morning, but for the past month he has been sleeping in until about 9 or 10. I always set an alarm for him, but he sleeps right through it. I don't wake him up because waking himself up is a skill that he needs to learn. I told him about 2 weeks ago that there are going to be consequences for him if he continues to sleep in every morning. At first, he understood and was waking up on time every morning, but for the past week or so he has fallen back into old habits. I told him yesterday that this is his final warning. Today he slept in until 11. So I followed through with my warning and went on the computer and deleted his favorite Minecraft world. I also took away computer privileges for the next month. When I told him, he started screaming and crying. He told me that he spent a whole year working on that world, and he's very distraught that he's never going to see it again. He has been crying and sobbing throughout the day and has refused to eat any of his meals. Am I the asshole? So that's the story. So
this is pretty tough. It's tough for me because, and I think where you automatically get the split decision is, do you understand how much time would have went into that? I can't imagine how I would feel as a grown-ass adult if somebody deleted the world that me and Gerald had spent hundreds of hours in and a year of time in. Mm-hmm. As a child, when that may be all that you have, you may have put every ounce of energy and creativity into that. To have that deleted, whether it be your fault or not, would probably be pretty tough to swallow. Mm-hmm. But as and I don't want to say, as a parent maybe who has not spent that time in Minecraft or in a video game or something like that, I can see how that feels like a justified discipline. Like if you don't understand Minecraft and how it works and how many hours it probably took to build that thing, and you're like, hey, asshole, quit sleeping in, or I'm going to delete that shit. I think it seems like maybe it fits the punishment if you're uninformed about that. But knowing how many hours that we spent just doing, you could spend 20 hours and accomplish something that almost no one else could even tell. So the idea that he'd been working on it for a year sucks. And that would probably, I can't imagine if that would have happened to me as a kid. But, you should listen to your parents.
Okay. I pretty much completely disagree with you. And I'll tell you why. First of all, it's important to know there's a difference between one bad parenting position one bad parenting decision and being a bad parent. There's definitely a difference. A good parent can make a bad parenting decision. But here's why I completely disagree with you. If you had a child who went to art class every day and painted you pictures and brought them home to you, or just as a hobby, was a good painter, seemed to be pretty good at it, and you told that child, look, you're not going to be able to paint if you don't do what I say. When you punish that child for not doing what you said, you would take away the brushes and the paper and the paint. What you wouldn't do is destroy every piece of artwork that he already created. It would never even occur to a parent to do that. Same thing with music. If a child writes a diary, is writing short stories and shows his mom, or writes poems, you might say to your child, if you don't listen to me, I'm going to take away your composition book and your pencil. What you're not going to do is burn that composition book. It's not even going to cross your mind.
Yeah, but I think that plays back into, I think they don't understand the time and energy that goes into.
I think they don't understand. I think it boils down to parents don't understand the creative process of their children in the current times.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're sort of saying the same thing. I think from a parent standpoint, if you're uninformed about that, you're not doing the same thing. They don't understand that they're ripping up their art or they're throwing away their poems. They don't feel that because they don't understand probably video games, probably Minecraft.
See, to me, this feels like it was meant to be intentionally cruel because this child had shown the parent, look what I did.
But does that take 5 minutes for most people and just took him a year to goof off in
That
there?
doesn't matter. Why would you ever destroy something that your child is proud of? When is that ever right? You could take away the means of creating something that he's proud of. Why would you destroy something that your child is proud of?
Yeah,
if your child came over to you and said, look at the sandcastle I built, you would never say to your child, yeah, well, you didn't eat your piece for dinner, and go over and destroy that sandcastle.
That shit probably happens a lot. But I think it's easier with video. I mean, I've seen videos of people coming in and smashing somebody's Xbox with a baseball bat. You know, and when they see somebody get distraught, it's not about them smash. I get another Xbox. It's about the hard drive.
Right.
It's about,
I understand that.
This or that. I just think there's a huge disconnect.
And I don't think that's right either.
No, but I think there's a huge disconnect with how people grew up and what was important to them. I just think they don't understand video games. Like, Gerald's got a video of a parent getting ready to run over somebody's stack of games with a fucking zero turn.
Right.
But again, those are stacks of games which you can replace.
Mm-hmm.
But destroying somebody's... Like, I'm a pretty non-violent person, but if you just rolled in my house and fucking ripped my hard drive out of my PS4, we'd probably try to take a go at it. Because so much of my life is on there.
Right. I get that.
Now, I know that cloud saving's a thing now, so things are a little bit different. And, depending on how she deleted it, he may even be able to get his stuff back. I don't know.
Right, he may. You're right.
But I think it's a disconnected point of view from... And I don't think it's strictly the video game. I just think the way kids grow up now is so different.
I agree.
People take away people's cell phone as punishment. It's not like when you used to be able to take away someone's cell phone. You grow up so different now.
Mm-hmm.
Their whole life is on the phone. When you take it away, it's different than when my parents took my phone away. I was just an asshole trying to text with T9. It's not the same thing. You take away people's access to information now when you take away their phone. So
I guess
I think it sucks. I feel super bad for that kid. I can't imagine. Like I said, as a grown-ass 34-year-old man, if somebody deleted I don't even play Minecraft anymore. If someone fucked around and deleted the island that me and Gerald spent all that time on, I'd be livid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would cry.
And there's some other reasons. There's some other bad parenting decisions here, too. Okay, the kid's 9. Okay, I understand that you need to learn to get up on your own. I understand that. I don't know that this 2-week period when you're 9 is like the end-all, be-all of doing that. Make sure the kid goes to bed early. If you have to, go in and wake them up. That's how habits get created. But my biggest problem with that is, and I already said it. The biggest problem is that this kid went to his parents and said, I am so proud of this. Look at it. And the first thing the parent decided to do when he punished him was destroy that. That kid, if I was that kid, I would never, my parents wouldn't know a fucking thing about me ever again.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and there's not enough context in 2 paragraphs. I don't know what the relationship was like before at 9 years old. I will say that by all accounts, I'm a fairly successful, normal human, and my stepdad had a real problem with what time I woke up when I was 9.
Oh, listen.
I came out okay.
Yeah, I came out okay, and it was the same.
Yeah.
Same thing.
He actually had a problem with damn near everything I did. And I came out okay. He said his piece, I did my thing. But, I also was lucky enough that he never chose to destroy something I loved because I didn't listen.
Right. Right.
I think it's a kid-ass thing to do to sleep in at 9 years old, though. I'm not saying it's not frustrating, but I think that's a kid-ass thing to do. That's what kids do.
That's what kids do, right.
Because one day they're going to grow up and work the rest of their fucking life.
Right.
So.
You're right.
You shouldn't have to wake them up, but you do.
There's a lot of shouldn'ts you do when it comes to kids. When it comes to adults, there's a lot of shouldn'ts you do.
And I would suggest that instead you pivot and you find some joy from waking someone up who didn't get enough sleep. Because that could be a fun activity that doesn't actually hurt that person like this event probably did.
Right.
But I can see how an uninformed parent could think this is nothing more than, oh, you'll have to start your little world over and build your castle again.
I guess I see that too, but I just have my biggest problem with that is that the kid was proud of it and took the time out to show. I mean, I'd done a lot of things that I haven't shown people because it's not a big deal. But regardless, when you're proud of something, you don't destroy that creation, regardless, ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you built a birdhouse and you showed somebody and they were like, yeah, but you were late for work and they smashed it with a hammer, you'd be like, well, what the fuck?
Right.
That was a huge overreaction.
This kid, the problem is this kid is going to remember that for the rest of his life, and he may never be in a position where he wants to. It's unlikely, but it is a thing that could happen. This kid may never want to create anything ever again because he knows it's just going to be destroyed.
Yeah, but why I say there's not enough context is this kid could never do his homework, miss every meal, never want to do any kind of family time because he's always playing Minecraft, and they've been through this before. We just don't know. But from the surface, am I asshole? Yes. But I would say more than an asshole, you're probably uninformed. And you should learn a little more about what you do before you just overreact, I think.
I'm not a parent, but I've talked about my experiences when I was a kid. And this kind of story right here is exactly the reason you learn to understand your children's interests and hobbies and their capabilities and the things they can do and the things they enjoy. To prevent these kinds of things, and just I just don't have anything else to say. That's why it's so important to understand your children's interests and capabilities, the hobbies, the things they love, because you need to understand your kids. You need to understand what their impulses are, what their capabilities are, what their limitations are. This kid doesn't do, you're right. Maybe this kid doesn't do well on his homework. He doesn't do well in school. But this kid's obviously got a talent because he can build these amazing world. He's got some sort of creative talent. What can you do to foster the life for this child? And to me, it's just a lack of interest, and it's just passing off whatever your child's interested in and creating more disharmony than harmony.
Yeah. Now, producer Gerald in the background has pulled up a ton of these videos, but in almost every video, they're destroying the actual thing.
Yes. Not
the save files. Now, there's YouTube videos of people deleting people's characters and
yes, there is
deleting their wow characters and shit, and those guys flip out and those ladies flip out.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think it's a bad scenario for everybody involved, because I think she probably doesn't understand how bad what she did is to the child.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think the child feels, like you said, betrayed because I showed you something that I put my heart and soul into and you tore it up. But
yep.
I promise you there are worse things than somebody sleeping in. You know, kids at 9 now are like doing meth and stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's a different world we live in. You know, sleeping in's okay. This is maybe a product of quarantine and that people are at home too much together and everybody's on a short fucking fuse.
Well, yeah, that could be.
So,
that could be. But so
sad day for
that kid.
For that kid and for
mom, really.
Yeah, I think everybody involved.
And that's I don't think mom just understands the ramifications of what she did.
Yeah, because I think if you set her down and said he probably spent thousands of hours building that world and showcasing his creativity, and in 4 mouse clicks you took that away from him. You told him not to be creative. She would feel pretty shitty about what she did. You know.
And that's why I said there's a difference between a bad parenting decision and a bad parent.
Yeah, and they could be either of these. We don't know, but
yeah,
it sucks. It's also don't fucking delete anything that's mine. Just so we're clear,
right?
Don't take anything of mine away. But I'm also different, you know. I cherish the things that I have in a way that I know a lot of people don't. Like I do place. My memories are tied to the objects and to the things and to like my time of playing Minecraft with Gerald is tied to that map,
right?
So to me, you know, it's all in how you process your memories of things. You know, that's why I like to have so much junk around because it all has a memory tied to it. And I fucking hate when someone's like, hold on to the memory, not the thing. Fuck off. I'll hold on to both.
I'll do what I want because I'm
kindly
a
fuck
man.
Off. Right. So I don't know, you know, shout out to the kid though. And I would say, take this to start over and make something even better.
And I mean, there's a lesson for the kid here too. You know,
wake up earlier.
Follow. if people give you rules, that follow them. Maybe.
Now I'll tell you what I would say to my parents at 9 years old. Well, now I have no reason to wake up.
Yeah, right.
Because now there's nothing for me to do because you've deleted everything I worked so hard on.
Right. Yeah.
But I was a smart ass 9-year-old, so. Turns out they never broke me of that either. Kept that all through life. Also, I consider myself lucky to have my parents divorced at a young age. Mm-hmm. And my dad very much understands video games and understood video games, and my mom very much didn't. Mm-hmm. But I was lucky enough to have 2 parents that encouraged my creativity in whatever outlet that I had. I had a stepdad who I couldn't do anything right for, but he didn't really pry. So, and he really came around as he got older. He's a big softy now, but you know, growing up I couldn't do anything right, and it probably made me a better person, honestly. So
I don't know.
Maybe good.
You must have been really shitty then, because
man, I couldn't catch a break. But I was also a smartass 24/7. So
right,
he would say
nothing off.
Yeah, well, he would say something, and I would be a smartass back, and I'm like, "Are we good here? You know, like, are we done? Like, is this exchange over?" So I wasn't allowed to have posters on my wall. I wasn't allowed to paint my room. Couldn't have friends over. But my dad was the polar opposite. You know, so my dad had put Ninja Turtle contact paper on my waterbed. Also tells you how freaking cool I was back in the day. But you know, it was totally different. But I actually think both of those things helped me be who I am now. And I think the right answer was somewhere in the middle, probably.
Yeah,
can't always be yes, but it can't always be no.
Right.
But what the fuck do I know? I just play video games and
talk about them on the
talk
podcast.
About them on what might be the best show on the fucking podcast services you're listening on right now. So yeah, Gerald, what are your, just briefly, should she have deleted the world? Yeah. See, it's weird. This, for some reason, is not something you can just say yes or no. He said no, but he thinks she doesn't understand everything completely. But it's not, you can't just say yes or no. This is like super complicated.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, Gerald talks about destroying cartridges
memory
or
cards
back in the day. Yeah, it's similar. That's why I think the difference is when someone takes a sledgehammer and puts it through a TV because you're playing too much Xbox, you can just get another TV.
Well, I think there's a little bit of difference too with the cartridges and the memory cards, because there wasn't a lot of, other than creating a character, there wasn't a lot of creation on those.
But Gerald just naturally lost a world, no fault to anyone. And he was devastated.
Oh yeah,
again, as a grown-ass man with his shit together.
Yeah. Because no one wants to see their creative...
Yeah.
The things they've created be destroyed.
Yeah, like if you deleted my Uncharted 4 save file, I'd be like, well, that was an asshole move.
Right, that's different.
But if you deleted everything I'd ever built in Little Big Planet, I'd be like, well, you're not a good human.
Right.
But from the outside looking in, those are the same thing.
Yeah, I guess so.
They're just two save files. Yeah, Gerald's making the equation. If you were to buy or build a house, right? Those are different.
Yes.
Especially when I say build, I would mean like with my own two hands, right? So my grandfather built the house that him and my grandmother lived in for 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a regular house, but that house means so much more to me than maybe any house I'll ever even own.
Right.
So there is a difference with tearing that down and putting up a nice new house versus tearing down the house that I live in now to put a nice new house.
Mm-hmm.
It's complicated. Sorry for everybody involved. Are you an asshole? You probably were that day.
I'm going with in general, yes.
You probably were that day.
Yeah.
I hope that you didn't mean to be an asshole.
There is a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes I'm an asshole and I absolutely mean to be.
Yeah, and sometimes I'm an asshole and I didn't mean it. It's just...
Sometimes it was a happy accident. You're welcome.
Sometimes it just worked out that way. Yay!
And I know that you are too, and it's probably why we get along so well. I could be a real asshole sometimes and not even realize it. I'm a super smart ass, and it can be overwhelming at times.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm at least finally good enough at reading body language I can tell where I cross the fucking line.
Yeah, I can too. But there's times where, even I was, I'll say something that's super asshole, and it doesn't even occur to me that I said something that was super asshole. Because in my mind, it's just, if someone said it to me, I wouldn't care.
Well, I joke a lot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, my jokes are at somebody else's expense. But it's just a joke.
Uh-huh.
Like
some
I'm just
people take it a different way.
Well, because everyone else had a day, a month, a week, too.
Yeah.
So sometimes when I'm playing and I can tell I'm going a little too hard in the paint on somebody, based on either their reaction or somebody else, I have to be careful because especially I give you guys shit when we play games. So sometimes I can tell it just didn't hit right. So I'm like, maybe I crossed the line and you're like, we're not all having fun anymore, So, I get it. But hopefully that person wasn't trying to be an asshole on purpose. And if I've ever pissed you off, I probably wasn't trying to be an asshole on purpose either, but maybe I was. It's
possible. Yeah, that goes double for me, so.
Yeah. Gerald's the nicest one of the three of us for sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah. Gerald every now and then will get you with one, and I think it actually stings more because he doesn't do it very often. But he's a nice guy.
Yeah, but his usually come across more as a good burn rather than being an asshole.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Yeah, I like to hit people with real passive-aggressive things. That really
right, yeah, me too.
They fucking still burn in 5 minutes from now.
I have a bad habit of probably 75% of the time when I'm an asshole, I am trying to be. And the problem is I don't ease myself into it. I just dig. I just go.
Yeah.
And
yeah, now I think you're more of an asshole than I am.
My understanding is that it can be pretty devastating because most of the time it's just like it goes from ha 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 to wham. There's not an in between. I don't lead into that blow, and my understanding is it can really.
It's maybe not ideal all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's what I was going to, the difference. Like, I think a lot of times I'm very jokey about it, and you might be like, hey, is he being for real, or is he just still goofing? A lot of times you're not joking.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't just joking. Like, people weren't just telling jokes, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, if it gets to that point, then I'm not joking.
We weren't all just being funny. Like, you're like, okay, well, this took a turn.
The thing is, if I say something, then if I say something that really, you know, digs deep like that, then that's probably what I meant to do.
Yeah. But, you know, I think it just goes to knowing that person too. Because if someone said, you know, is Dan an asshole? I'd be like, maybe. Like, because
he can be.
Yeah, I guess you are, but like you are you for me. Like, I would be more alarmed if you weren't sort of like that.
Right.
Like, I assume, like, when we get on and I'm not talking shit to each other, everybody's like, are you feeling okay?
Right.
Like, it's more concerning that I'm not sort of an asshole than when I am, because that's what we spend. And so a lot of times I play with friend of the show, Patman, friend of the show, Marshall 205. For those that don't know, friend of the show, Patman, is maybe the nicest human on earth.
Oh, yeah.
He's not
a great
fake.
Dude.
It's not for show. He is a nice fucking human.
He's just a good dude.
He is one of the best people that I know. And to everyone, to strangers, to friends, he doesn't know most of you, and he plays games with all of you, and he is polite, and he talks to you, and he likes to learn about you, and he's an incredible guy. Friend of the show, Marshall 205, not that person.
He can be a little abrasive. Is that what you're saying?
So it's funny because him and I talk shit to each other to a point where if you didn't know, you would be like, hey, I think there's like a problem here.
Right. Yeah.
But we're usually partied up with the nicest human while we're talking shit back and forth. And he'll be like, damn, y'all are going at it. And you're like, hey, don't start with me. don't jump in here unless you want to go. And he's really the saint of the group because he takes it. We talk shit, and he's like, you motherfuckers, you know, like he just lets it go. But, you know, that's why it makes playing games easy with most of you, because you can talk shit.
Yeah.
I try to talk shit to Gerald because he's very nice also. But sometimes it happens because who I am. But to you and to Marshall 205 and to Thomas and to Matt, I'll talk shit to you guys. Because you guys all talk shit back.
Yeah.
But so
that's like if I'm in a party and I'm playing a different game than you guys, I tend to not talk.
Yeah,
I do the listening. Because it feels weird to talk about something that I don't know what is going on. I don't know what you're doing in Wreckfest while I'm playing Borderlands. So. I've never played Wreckfest, so I have no reference point when you are talking about something.
Right, there's not any context, even if you understood kind of what we were saying.
Right. So if I'm ever in a party with you guys and I'm playing a different game and I'm talking a lot, there's probably a problem.
Gerald's always quiet in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's almost always playing something different, and he's always quiet. You're quiet if you're not playing with us. And Patman he doesn't dominate the conversation like me and Marshall 205 does.
No, he doesn't.
He just comes in, says what he needs to say, and get out. Where we are the reason we don't just stream out everything we play.
Yeah, you guys just love the sounds of your own voices. That's for sure.
Yeah, we're the reason we don't stream out everything we play because it gets petty sometimes. But you know, he's one of my best friends in the world.
You
know, he is like the only friend that I have that calls me. I don't have any other friends that call me. Everybody else texts me. He calls me.
I don't call you.
I mean, he texts me too, but he'll call me. Kind of like it sometimes because I don't ever have conversations with anybody outside of the PS4.
Oh, I'll start calling you every now and then. I didn't know. Usually
I kind of like a phone call. I think I'm getting old.
I guess so. I'll start calling you every now and then.
Texting is just texting is just kind of impersonal. I called Gerald the other day when I was going to meet him. He was texting me and I called him like, "What's up?" I just kind of like a phone call every now and then.
I guess, Gerald, I'll start calling you every now and then, too.
Yeah. Well, Gerald might not like a phone call every now and then.
Well, now he's getting one because you've decided that everyone needs it.
Then you're going to be like, he is an asshole because he keeps giving me the FU button. But yeah, I just, Matt calls me, too. I guess that's not fair. I didn't mention Matt. I talk to Matt on the phone more than anybody.
Yeah.
So he does call me a lot, but we don't play games. So for me, that makes sense. Like I talk to you guys all week. We talk on here. I play games with Pat Man and friend of the show, Marshall 205 all the time. Mm-hmm. I don't play games with, I see Gerald at lunch. I don't play games with Matt, so that's how we catch up.
Right.
So I guess it's just different, but I like a phone call every now and then.
All right. I'm just going to start calling you.
It's kind of nice.
Be prepared.
I'll answer, probably.
Hey, what's up? What's up?
I'll be like, well, I won't answer if I'm busy.
Right. I get that, too.
Yeah. Yeah. But, just texting seems... Maybe it's just because I've been at home for too long.
Impersonal?
Yeah, texting starting to seem a little impersonal to me.
It's like talking to a robot?
Yeah.
Not an actual person?
There are people that I text on the regular that I don't talk to very much, and sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if I remember what that person sounds like. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I think I know what that person sounds like, but I don't know that I've been in front of them in a year or heard them in a year.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So it's just, maybe something to consider out there.
Phone calls.
Yeah, am I an asshole? Probably. Is Dan an asshole? Probably. Is Gerald an asshole? Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, I'm probably an asshole.
Yeah, if you were to poll 10 people that know me pretty well,
I'd be an asshole.
We're going to come out on the positive side of that. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not that story kind of asshole. I'm just a different kind of asshole, but still an asshole.
I would never delete someone's Minecraft world, but again, firsthand knowledge of how long that takes.
Right. Me too.
But I don't know. I'm a big advocate for creativity.
And if I did delete somebody's Minecraft world, I don't have to ask if I'm the asshole.
Yeah, I would feel terrible if I did.
Because I meant to do it. That was the whole point.
When I first read, you sent this to us like Tuesday or something.
Mm-hmm.
When you first sent it to me, I was like, what a terrible, despicable thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But then I took time to think about it. And that there are different perspectives. But man, it like hurt me in my core when I first read it.
Right, doesn't it?
Because I'm like, sting? Oof. Because to me, that's fucking personal because I've spent that time in that game.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it.
And Little Big Planet, I've talked about it before, but that game reminds me of my dad and learning to like build with him. And like those shitty maps can't be replaced for anything.
Mm-hmm.
Because I built them with him and he won't be around forever. And I'll always have that. So.
True story. Yeah. You said it before.
Yeah. Don't be an asshole unless that's you.
Right.
And if you're an asshole, keep on keeping on,
You do you.
Yeah. Oh, that's it. It got weird at the end of this show. We got real preachy.
We did. You did more than me.
That's what I do.
You were a little bit more preachy than I was. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean, I'm not gonna tell you that's not true. I probably was.
You were.
But
I'm being honest with you.
Very large advocate for creativity of any sort. And I think deciding what is art and what is creative is almost impossible in this day and age. Because you can drink food dye, throw up on a canvas and call it art. And maybe I don't understand that, but I certainly wouldn't destroy it.
Would you destroy it though?
And I certainly would not destroy anything.
There you go.
There you go. Time and energy on.
There you go.
So. Yeah, that's a longer show because we talked about something that really could go any direction.
Yeah.
So if you wanted a girthy episode, you're welcome.
You got it.
Yeah, consider it very girthy, very round.
Rotund. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I forgot it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. It won't be Mother's Day when you hear this, so it'll seem.
It won't be. Hopefully, you said Happy Mother's Day to your mothers.
Yeah, you should. Even if you have differences with your mother, you should tell your mother.
That's right. You should the word to your mother.
Yeah, just send word.
Word to your mother.
She'll it's already to her. And let's go back to don't be a dickbag. Call your mom today. Don't text her.
Yeah, don't text her. Call her.
Don't text her Happy Mother's Day.
Or go see her if you're able to.
Yeah, or text her, but also call her.
Do both.
But don't just text Happy Mother's Day. It's not cool. It's not as cool as you think. Send a pigeon, maybe? That would be classy. If you have a pigeon service.
I wouldn't get there in time.
Oh, they're not quick? I thought pigeons same day.
No, it's not FedEx.
I thought if I sent a pigeon to Gerald's house, you're telling me it wouldn't arrive today.
I don't think so.
I feel that it would. Birds are fast. Now, if I send a pigeon to you, probably
I don't
Tuesday.
even understand how carrier. Look, that's for another time because I don't even understand how carrier pigeons were ever a fucking thing.
Do they stop and sleep?
I don't know
just
how the
straight
fuck
there?
they knew
Yeah,
where to
I
go.
don't know.
I don't know. So that's for another time. We'll have to get into that later.
Yeah, you buy a Lego set off of Wish. I'm going to get a pigeon. I'm going to teach it to fly to Gerald's house.
Okay.
And we're going to get some time on this thing. This has been episode. Go ahead.
I was going to say, by the time I get my Lego set from Wish, you probably have that pigeon trained already. So
the time frames are probably the same to get these projects going. To make life easier, if you guys have bought a Lego set off Wish or have a pigeon that carries packages, you could just let us know.
Yeah.
At game_stitch on Twitter. I'm at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Shirtless Dan, and Gerald is at Hoffman Show, and I don't think any of us use Twitter. So, there's that. I was giving you time to interject if you use it. Nobody said anything, so I think I'm fine there.
I don't think I usually do. No.
Yeah. Yeah, the kids.
I use my Twitter. I don't use the Gamestitch Twitter much because
I don't use any Twitter. Oh. I like being off the grid.
Oh, yeah, you're definitely off the grid.
I mean, besides there being 7 years of audio recordings that are anywhere from an hour to 3 hours long, I'm totally off the grid.
Yeah, and smart everything in your house that's tracking.
Yeah, that's not the off the
grid.
That's not the off the grid I talk about.
Oh.
And if you're listening right now, government, I appreciate everything you've done for me. I'll take another stimulus check. If you've got any laying around. They send them to dead people, I understand.
Yeah, I didn't get mine yet, though.
Really?
No.
Wow. Gerald, did you get yours? Okay. Yeah, he got his. I got mine. That's interesting.
Oh, because I had to pay taxes last time I did taxes.
Oh, so those are coming out last?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
See, I paid the taxes already, but because they don't have my direct deposit information,
I have to
get an actual check.
Because they didn't give you anything, so they didn't have your info.
And they start at a low bracket and move up, so I should have mine in September.
Yeah, you can use it. You can use it when you get that Wish set. You could have actually bought the real set.
Yeah.
Because you'll have the money at the same time.
Uh-huh.
This has been episode 382. We appreciate you. Shout out to Thomas. Shout out to Zach. Those guys are keeping safe. Thomas and I think are going to play some Farming Simulator together.
Ooh.
And for those curious, I picked up Snow Runners after last week's episode thanks to producer Gerald. So I have that available if anybody's playing the Snow Runners. That's it. Another good episode. Maybe the best one we've ever done. Probably not.
Might be a little long.
Good night.
Good night.